Welcome to AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris, and joining me today is Tonya Long. Tonya works with executives and boards all across the US, advising them on AI adoption. And we're going to be chatting about AI in the land of Oz. Hi, Tonya, and thanks for joining us on AI in 5.
I'm ecstatic to be here.
Yeah, it's where in the world do we find you today?
You find me in dark San Jose, California.
Okay. It is nighttime, and I appreciate you doing this in your evening. You, about a year ago, published a wonderful book called AI and the New Oz. And I love the way you stitch together the lessons from AI to the kind of storyline of the Wizard of Oz. What was the impetus for that book?
It was, well, you wrote yours about the same time, and we were on that journey when things were a little angry. I think the world was a lot more frightened by AI back when we published books. You reached out to me. I remember that. It was our first engagements together were a lot of fun, but the world was much more concerned. And my book came about because my peer groups weren't ready to think about AI. I'd be at different functions. I'd be at campfires with my Airstream and talk to my buddies, and they'd be like, "Arr," and they weren't ready to move forward. And so I said, I've got to write a book to get people's attention. Yeah. As I started to evolve the book, I decided to break away from my technical tribe and write the book more for the less technical, because what I recognized is AI is going to be ubiquitous with how we operate, but it was going to be the less technical functions that were going to be left behind, and that we couldn't afford to have that done. So I focused the book on leadership and where we would need to go to get those teams involved in using their leadership skills to pull their teams forward.
Okay, and I know you do a lot of work with executive teams, with company boards. Are you still seeing that just general lack of understanding, lack of appreciation? Or is it now moved to a higher plane where they kind of understand it, but they don't know what they're going to do with it?
They're overwhelmed. We, as you know, it's been a frenzy. It has been a frenzy of activity, and I would say development at the application level. So you remember, some weeks we had 600 new products coming out the door. 600 application level products. So what we have is enterprises are not yet changing the workflows of the enterprise. Companies are not yet turning in what they could. And I think at the board level, we have reluctance to move forward, and just a lack of knowledge and understanding. I think teams are exploring and playing, but companies are not. And so boards are concerned about how to press forward. I was at both HP and Dell. I won't play favorites because I was at both conferences over the course of the last month and a half. Unilaterally, everyone wants AI, big time. Unilaterally, everyone wants to know what to do. And use cases for how do I bring AI into my company in a meaningful way was the number one conversation I had over and over and over.
Okay. And I'm seeing the same thing here in Australia. I keep calling it FOMF, fear of moving forward. It's kind of the opposite of FOMO. What about in the strategy space? I know you do a lot of work in strategy. Where are you seeing AI strategies at? Are they there? Are they not?
They're reluctant. They're just not matured because there's not repeatable reasons for having strategy. What has evolved for me in the last few months, strategies in enterprise for the last 20 years evolved because something big happened and we needed to do certain things. So the strategies were around practices like, like SOX compliance. And so we had to do things because something occurred and then we had to build around it. Now it's a big green field. It's a big whiteboard. And we say, what do you want to do? And we haven't developed corporate muscles for this wide open, how do you want to operate? It's paralyzing to be able to do anything you want to do. And I think that has caused just a lot of reluctance for anyone to move forward without a landscape where they see what the impact is at similar companies. So everyone is waiting for everyone else to take the first step. And what I'm experiencing is a lot of boards call me to say, we haven't really seen a strategy from our executive teams yet. Should we be concerned? And I say, absolutely, you should be concerned.
Well, this has been a great AI in 5. Before you go, though, I'd love to ask everyone, what's your one best tip for someone who's just kind of stepping into the world of generative AI? Play.
Explore. Be curious. It's all the same thing, but you have really got to just roll up your sleeves and learn to love it and enjoy it and incorporate it into what you do. And it starts with
that's wonderful advice. Tonya, thank you for being on AI in 5.
Simon, it's so good to spend time with you.